Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. Let's begin with our first e-learning class of biology. Class 10th, chapter 6, life processes. Now, if anything is living, how do we know? What criteria do we use to decide whether it is living or non-living? For example, there is a bird which is lying on the ground and it is not moving. So what will you do to find out whether it is living or dead? Definitely you will have a close look at the bird. You will try to observe some breathing movements, and if you can observe the breathing movements, that means the bird is alive, right? So we can consider movement as a basic criteria, one of the basic criteria to decide whether something is living or not. But yes, in some cases, like in case of plants, we know that they do not move on their own. Fine. So in that case, we think that how movement can be a criteria. But in plants also, molecular movements, cytoplasmic movements are continuously going on inside the cell. These movements are not visible, but still these are going on inside the cell. So movement can be considered an important criteria to find out whether something is living. Also, in all the living organisms, certain processes are going on. These processes are known as life processes. Now, what is the meaning of life processes? Life processes are the basic processes in living organisms which are necessary for maintaining their life. That means in every living body, certain processes are taking place, and these processes are helping in the maintenance of life. For example, this wood, which was a part of the tree, right? When it was detached from the tree, certain processes stopped taking place in it. These processes were the life processes. So, in this chapter, we are going to study about 4 life processes: nutrition, respiration, transportation, and excretion. Right? Next, we will study nutrition, the process by which organism takes food. Respiration, the food breaks down to release energy. We will study in detail later on. Again, transportation, it is a process by which food, oxygen, water and waste products are transported throughout the body. And excretion, it is a process in which the metabolic waste, the wastes which are produced in the body are removed. Fine. So all these 4 life processes we are going to study in this chapter. So first, let us begin with nutrition. The act of obtaining nourishment from the surroundings is called nutrition. In other words, nutrition is a process of taking food by an organism and its utilization to build the body for growth and repair of the damaged parts and energy. Every living body needs certain nutrients for getting energy, for repair of the damaged parts, for building the body and for growth. The method by which the organism takes these nutrients is known as nutrition. Now, different organisms follow different modes of nutrition. There are 2 main modes of nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition. Now, let us see what the word autotrophic means. Auto means self, trophic means nourishment. So, certain organisms are able to make their own food. The mode of nutrition is known as autotrophic nutrition, and the organisms are called autotrophs. For example, the green plants, right? We know that green plants make their own food by using carbon dioxide and water, and they absorb the sunlight. They make the food, and in this process oxygen is released, right? So the plants are self-dependent, so the type of nutrition is known as autotrophic nutrition. The second type of nutrition is known as heterotrophic nutrition. Now the term heterotrophic means, heteros means others, trophic means nourishment. So these organisms cannot make their own food but are dependent directly or indirectly on plants. Means either they eat plants directly or they eat those organisms which eat plants. Fine. So they are directly or indirectly, they obtain their nourishment from plants. Now heterotrophic nutrition is of 3 types. Saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition means the mode of nutrition in which organisms get their food from dead and decaying organisms. Fine. And in these nutritions, the process of breakdown of food material occurs outside the body. Let us understand it simply by the process of decomposition of a leaf. When a leaf falls to the ground, certain bacteria, fungi, they start growing on the leaf. Those bacteria and fungi, they release certain digestive juices out of their body and they digest the leaf, they decompose the leaf, they absorb the digested material, right, and the rest is mixed in the soil. The next type of heterotrophic nutrition is parasitic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which an organism, which is a parasite, lives on or inside the body of another organism, that is a host, and gets nourishment from it is called parasitic nutrition. For example, lice lives on the skin, it makes wounds of the skin, it absorbs blood and obtains nourishment. Here in the picture you can see a Cuscuta plant. You can see these yellow wire-like structures. This is of Cuscuta plant. This plant lives on other plants and absorbs nourishment from it. The next is holozoic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which organisms take food directly and then digests it and absorbs it. Simply you can understand how we obtain nourishment. What we do, we eat food, the food goes into our stomach, it is absorbed, it is digested and it is absorbed. Whatever is not digested or absorbed is ingested out. Right? So this mode of nutrition is known as holozoic nutrition. This nutrition is also followed by amoeba. The food enters in the form of food vacuole, it gets digested and absorbed, and by paramecium, birds and fishes. So students, I hope you have understood. Like for example, vulture. Vulture feeds on dead bodies, but which mode of nutrition it follows? Of course holozoic, because the dead body enters inside the body, it is digested and absorbed. Right? The process of digestion does not occur outside. Fine? So students, I hope you have understood different types of nutrition. In the next class, we will study about photosynthesis.